Nice work, Jolynn. Good job. Okay, so we've got your group up here. Here's our start with audio. Looking forward to. Okay, let's go ahead and jump over to your presentation here. I think this is good stuff here, right? I think that your sketches to a high degree show your intent with the configurator. You're adding some virtual reality here. You're adding some technology. This is all pointing in a really, really fantastic direction. One thing I want you to do is take it from here. Let's do this. Let's think about human-centered design as opposed to regular design. So this right now is indicative of a regular design process. What we want to do is transition this into what would be something that would be indicative of a user-centered design process. Let me describe the difference. To assist you in learning the difference, be sure to go to week 5 presentation and download the IDEO user-centered toolkit. It's this presentation right here. It's really a fantastic presentation. It's wonderful. I love it. I've been reading it. I've probably read this thing 200 or 300 times, and I still read it every few weeks. I'll read this thing cover to cover. It's fantastic. It'll change the way you think about design. Basically, the difference between design and user-centered design is that in user-centered design processes, we don't just stop at designing a product or a service. We take a look at why do we need to design this? What is the inherent problem that is causing us or causing someone to want to design it? So we're not just saying, okay, we're going to design a vehicle configurator. We're going to stop and we're going to say, okay, why do we need a vehicle configurator? What is the bigger issue at play here? And upon research, we find out that the bigger issue is some of the inconsistencies involved with buying the current model of buying purchasing a new automobile from a dealership. So what we want to do is we want to change that. So we're not after designing a kiosk, we're after changing the way people look at the process of buying automobiles. So basically what you could do, my recommendation, some of the recommendations or requirements that that I have been adding in these videos is that so we take your kiosk ideas, right, and we don't stop here. We implement them further so we can really determine how we can eliminate. Now, I think the obvious example is to incorporate a driving simulator. This way, you take all your information from the kiosk, send it to the simulator. It's all preloaded. You're ready to drive the car based on the choices you made in the configurator. At that point, you can, right in the simulator, you can make changes. You can change the road conditions. You can change, the tires on the car. You could even do things like change how old the car is, so you can get an idea of what the car will drive like in 10 years with 150,000 miles, right? You could add quizzes like questionnaires about driving habits and personal physical attributes, so that you based on your physical size, you're being matched with the car that would be suitable. So these are all things you could add questionnaires, you could add financial calculators to determine what the resale value would be in 10 years, all sorts of things. And that's what I'm after. I'm after you really pushing this to change the inherent problems or address the inherent problems associated with buying a new car and really address that. So it's one-stop shopping. You can get everything that you need to get done. So instead of going to the dealership, walking out in the lot, looking around, looking at different colors, talking to a salesperson, sitting down with the salesperson, telling them what you want, then going to the finance person and have them determine, what it's going to cost, what your down payment's going to. Forget all that. We can do all that right in the simulator. This way, the only time we need to talk to a salesperson or a finance person is when we have made our final choices and we're ready to finance. Okay, so that's what I'm after, and I think that that's a really good example of the difference between design process and user-centered design process. All right, great job. At this point, get back with your team, toss things over, think about what I've said in these. Your teammates will have had critiques quite similar to this, and then you can start really bouncing ideas, and let's move into a human-centered design process as opposed to a standard design process. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. Any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks.